Namaste, yogis. This is Adrienne with How Yoga Changed My Life, a podcast. Welcome to our episode follow-up from Meredith last week. We're really excited to talk about a personal practice. Now, there's so many different elements to discuss here, so we'll probably break this down in future episodes. But for right now, we want to talk about what is a personal yoga practice. What does that look like? What does it mean? Basically, a personal practice is creating time and space to be with yourself. What that is depends on the day. It's accessing some tools that you have that you can alleviate your own suffering. So when you're looking at what is a personal practice, it's something you do every day. It's not a huge time-consuming effort. It can be a minute, 5 minutes, and up. But it's time where you put your phone away, create a space where you feel safe, and you take the time to just be. I remember when I first started teacher training, one of my teachers said, yoga started with a guy sitting on the top of a mountain, just sitting. Just breathing, just paying attention to their body. And then over time, that yogi started to move. The time of a personal practice is connection, understanding how you feel in that present moment. A personal practice is all about being present, understanding where your feelings are, how you feel. It's not abstract. It's a felt experience. And we have a tendency to ignore felt experiences because sometimes they're uncomfortable. Right? So when you're sitting and trying to create your own personal practice and tapping into how do you feel right here, right now? Oftentimes, we spend our days protecting our heart, covering it with armor, blocking our vulnerability, our ability to connect with others because we're afraid. We're fearful of feeling things that are uncomfortable. But I've never met a strong person with an easy past, right? We all have had struggles. We all go through things. And when you spend time alone connecting with yourself, you're able to react and respond in the way that you want to show up in the world. A personal practice is about connecting within, not outside. And what does that mean? Oftentimes, we describe ourselves or we talk about ourselves as, hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm a yogi. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a podcast co-host, but really, those things aren't who I am. When I connect deeply within my true self, what are my passions? What makes me happy? What makes me joyful? What makes me show up as the best version of myself? For me, that's sitting daily for a few moments and asking myself, how do you feel right now? Do you have any tension in your body? Do you notice where your emotions land? When I teach kids yoga, one of my favorite things to do is to play singing bowls. And singing bowls are just beautiful ways of using sound to connect with the energy in your body. It's so cool. So when I take the singing bowls into a yoga class for kids, I'll have them all sit, close their eyes, and I'll ring one bowl. And while they're sitting with their eyes closed, I say, touch on your body where you felt that sound resonate. And when they blink their eyes open, most of the kids have their hands on around the same space in their body, whether it's at their heart, their belly, their head. But sound can invoke that feeling in your body can resonate and vibrate. And that's a tool that you can use to understand how we are all interconnected. We all need to take care of ourselves because no one else will. Whether you're 13 or 83, it doesn't matter. Yoga is a lifelong practice. It's a personal practice that makes progress in your life, that creates healthy patterns, that helps you alleviate your own suffering, allows you to learn how to regulate your nervous system, learn your body's signs and signals, where feelings land in your body. In my opinion, a personal practice doesn't require any planning. It requires a commitment, a discipline. If you just continue to move through your life with armor around your heart and the inability to connect with your felt senses, the feelings, the emotions in your body, when you have a personal practice, whether, like I said, it's a minute, 5 minutes or up, you will find yourself more peaceful, more grounded, more comfortable in your own skin. The best part of a personal practice is if you continue it and if you allow yourself space and grace and give yourself time to understand that you won't get it right every single time. You may find that you set a timer for 5 minutes and sit and you can't connect with yourself. So write it down. There's so many tools out there you can use. A personal practice isn't about just movement. It isn't about just stillness. It's about honoring how you feel in that moment and giving yourself the gift of whatever your body is craving that day. It takes work. It takes committing to yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not showing up for others to support them, to be there for others in your life. You have to address how you feel from the inside out. For me, my personal practice took years, years of letting go of the judgment, my inner critic, getting irritated with myself when I didn't do it on a day or I skipped it. But then once I became aware of how I was feeling about skipping it and releasing the negative and saying, yeah, I missed my personal practice today. It sucks. Oh well, move on. Acknowledge it without judgment. Most of the personal practice is releasing inner critic, releasing judgment, and tuning in, checking in, syncing up, and restoring yourself. You can choose your focus by simply noticing how you feel throughout your entire body while you're sitting. Every area of our body, every cell in our body is scientifically proven to hold on to emotions, memories, and feelings. And sometimes they get stuck. And the stuck energy can only be released by you with acknowledgement, self-love, and releasing those negative opinions of yourself. If you set an alarm throughout your day, maybe it's for the morning or the afternoon or before you go to bed, 5 minutes. Start small. I mean, you can go out and run a marathon tomorrow if you'd like. You'll feel like shit afterwards. You might not be able to ever run again if you blow out your knees, right? But if you start a Couch to 5K program, if you start small and you recognize the wins that you have, each day will progress you closer and closer to yourself. When you are working from that space inside your body, you are bringing out joy. You're shining bright, which helps other people connect and shine brightly. During my 200-hour yoga teacher training I led a few years ago, I had a student say to me that they noticed that as they were going through their training, they were starting to release and strip down from themselves, their judgments, their limited beliefs, and literally felt the vibration inside rising and getting higher. And oftentimes when you take care of yourself, those around you are impacted in a positive way, and you'll see the ripple effect in your life. There is no one else in the world that can control you but you. So start today, start tomorrow. Set an alarm. Just sit, tune in and breathe. Ask yourself questions about how you feel in that very moment. It's not about being perfect. It's about being you and understanding how you react and respond to things. You can make your personal practice easy to integrate in your day. I tell a lot of my students, just unroll your mat and lay it next to your bed. So it's the first thing and the last thing that your feet hit, your physical body hits before you go to bed and when you wake up. It's a reminder that spending a few moments breathing, tuning in, syncing up, and restoring yourself will allow you to alleviate your suffering and move in the direction of your passion, your purpose in life. We all know what we love. Sometimes it gets clouded. So take time to connect with yourself so that when you show up for others, you can show up wholly with joy and love in your heart. Thanks so much for listening. I'd love to hear your stories. Mia and I love talking to different people from different places about their yoga origin story or how they have incorporated a personal practice. It takes time and discipline, but you can do this. Think about it like Meredith said, it's energetic flossing. It's time for you every day. And that's a huge win. We're so excited to be able to share yoga with all of you. Your support, your time, your love, and your energy means the world to us. Starting this podcast was something that Mia and I wanted to do to be able to show people that yoga is something for everyone, that yoga is based in science. It is the manual that all of us have been craving our whole lives to teach us how to show up as the best version of ourselves from our heart space, our vulnerable heart space. We'd love to hear your stories, so you can email us at yogachanged@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Instagram at yogachanged. Hearing your stories and your feedback on our podcast has been magical. I'm so appreciative of everyone out here listening to us and learning about how yoga can really change your life. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.